Hello everyone, how have you been? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to my YouTube channel Wow English. Please watch, share and subscribe. Hello one and all, how is everything going? In this video, I'm going to teach you some polite expressions. In my previous video, I taught you some elements of communicative skills like politeness, smile, some expressions, humor. All these are very important to make an impressive communication. So today I'll explain some useful expressions that can make our conversation impressive. So let's start. There are some polite and impolite expressions. Remember, the more respect you pay to others, the more respect you gain. And moreover, polite expressions leave a good impact, leave a good impression on the listener. So let's start. Number one, I want a pizza. So it's rather impolite. It implies some demand. Whereas for asking some drinks or some food, it's better to say, I'd like to have a pizza. I'd like to have a cup of coffee. I'd like to have some hamburger. So it is not advisable to say, I want a pizza, I want a cup of tea. It is rather impolite. So this is number one. Number two, when you are with your colleagues or your co-workers or your associates, it is not advisable to use direct imperative like send me the report, give me a piece of paper, or give me a pen. It is not polite. Rather, you can say, could you send me the report, please? Could you send me the documents, please? Could you implies politeness. If you are asking for some car, could you please send me a car? So, could is a useful expression that implies politeness. Number three, as I told you, go away, leave me alone. It starts with a direct imperative with a verb in the beginning. It is not considered to be polite. Rather, it is better to say, could you give me a minute? Or sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. If someone comes to you for some kind of help, you are busy, you can say, could you give me a minute? Or you can say, sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. Okay guys, so now let's move on. The fourth expressions. Tell me when you are available. It also starts with an imperative, direct imperative with a verb. So it is not considered to be polite. Rather, it is better to say, let me know when you are available. Or you can say simply a question, when you're available. Okay? Let's move on. The fifth expressions. You're wrong. Sometimes if someone gives you some opinion, we usually say you are wrong or you're right. It is impolite. It's better to say, I think you might be mistaken. Or you can say, if you are not agree with the opinion, you can say, I'm afraid I disagree. You are wrong sounds very arrogant and very rude. So let's move on. Number 6. That's a bad idea. It is not polite. It is not good to say that's a bad idea. It's better to say I'm not sure that's a good idea. Or you can say I have a few concerns. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Number 7. Your work isn't good. It is not good to say and discourage someone because it takes a lot to do some work. Rather, you could disagree, you could be not agree with the other person, or maybe you won't like. So it's better to say I'm not satisfied with this work, or you can say, to be honest, this needs some improvement. Okay, let's move on to number 8. Sometimes when someone says something, we say, what? How? These are not polite. It's better to say, could you repeat that please? Please. See, there are 2 words in English language. Thank you, not two words, some words like thank you, please, sorry. Using such words make you a good conversationalist. It leaves a good impression. So you don't miss to say sorry or thank you or please. So what? Instead of saying what, better to say, could you repeat that please? Okay, so now let's move on to number 9. Do this today. When you are in a hurry, when it is urgent, sometimes in a hurry we use impolite expressions. It doesn't sound good. Okay, better to say, it would be great if you do this today. It would be nice if you do this today. And this will make a good impression to the listener, and the other person whom you are talking to will listen to you and will have a good impression. There will be some sort of respect. Let's move on to number 10. Who are you? Sometimes we don't know the person and we directly ask a question. Who are you? It's not good to ask a direct question. Instead, you can say use a polite word like, may I ask your name please, or could I ask your name please? So it is better to don't forget to use please in each of your expressions. Let's move on to 11. Can I borrow your pen? When you need some help, pen, pencil, book, mobile. So can I borrow your pen? It's better to say, as I told you in the beginning, could implies politeness. So better to say, could I borrow your pen please? Could I borrow your book please? Could I borrow your car please? Okay guys, now let's move on to 12. If you want to say something, it is better to not say, can I say something? Rather, it is better to say, can I just say something here please? Okay, it's applied expressions. Let's move on. 13. When you go somewhere, and sometimes it is our culture to pay respect. When we visit someone, or if someone visits, we stand up. But in the response, we shouldn't say, sit down please. Usually people use these expressions, but it is not polite. Better to say, take a seat please, or have a seat please. This is a polite expressions. Number 14. The report is awful. Means it is not good. So if it is not good, it is not good to say directly to someone that he's wrong or he's not good. Better to say, actually, this report is not really up to the standard. It is a polite expression. Let's move on to 15. That's a bad idea. Rather, better to say, I don't think that's such a good idea. See, minor changes in your expressions, minor change of words, how it makes difference. So when you are talking to someone, use these expressions. It will leave a good impact and your communication skill will be considered good. Let's move on to 16. Wait! This is not good to say. It is not polite. As I told you, direct imperative, we should avoid using direct imperative. Rather than you can say, can you hold please? If you want someone to wait for you, you can say, can you hold please? Okay? Let's move on. Number 17. I hate this song. Means you don't like. So it's not good to say I hate. Remember, when someone asks you, what do you like? I say, I love to love and I hate to hate. So hate is not a good expression. It's better to say, I'm not very fond of this song. It reminds me one of the incidents that happened to me. I had a British colleague. Once I was traveling with her and I was on the driver's seat and I was driving fast. So just like that I said, she said, you are driving fast. I said, I love to drive fast. And what was her reply? She didn't say I don't like, or she didn't say I hate fast driving. She said, actually, I'm not very fond of it. See how beautiful is this expression. So when you are talking to someone, use some polite expressions that will leave a good impact. See, once she talked to me, once she told me this expression and I didn't forget. And okay, I didn't forget. Okay, next move on. 18. If you need something, I need a pen, I need a book. So better to say, would you lend me a pen please? Would you lend me a book please? Just now I told you about borrow, so this is another expression. Okay, let's move on to 19. When you want to ask time to someone, what do you say? Can you answer me? What do you say when you want to ask the time? Usually people say, what time is it? But this is not good. This is not polite. Better to say, excuse me, could you tell me the time please? As I told you, once again I advise you to use this word could. Could implies politeness. Okay. Number 20. When you agree with someone, or if someone asks you yes no question, it is not better to say simply yes, but as add please, yes please. Would you mind writing me a kind of letter, or write me something for my presentation? Yes please. Would you mind wait for a while? Yes please. Okay, now let's move on to 21. When you don't understand something, if someone is talking to you and you don't understand, so what do you say? Repeat that please, I couldn't hear you. So, or you didn't explain this point. It is better and it is much more polite to say, I didn't understand this point. I didn't understand this point. Rather than accusing the other person. You didn't explain this point means you are accusing the other person. You are making the other person feel guilty. Instead, if you say, I didn't understand this point, it will leave a good impact, believe me. Next one. Number 22. You don't understand me. We often use these expressions if someone you don't understand you. So it is better to say, perhaps I'm not making myself clear. Okay, when you are explaining something, when you explain something to others and the other person is failed to understand, you often say, you don't understand me. So better to say, perhaps I'm not making myself clear. Next one, you need to improve this skill. This is a piece of advice. So better to say, you may need to improve this skill. It implies more politeness. And this is the second last. Can you help me? Can you help me, please? Of course, you are using please, but it is not much polite. Better to say, I was wondering if you could help me. And the last one, eat some of this food. Here again, imperative. So better to say, how about trying some of this food? How about going there? If you offer something, how about? Okay, so these are some of the few useful expressions that can leave a good impact on the listeners and that can make your speaking skill more impressive. I hope you will use this while talking to someone. Wish you all the best. Goodbye, sayonara, sat sri akal, au revoir, namaste.